Do you ever find yourself tangled in a web of worries that only seem to grow bigger and bigger? It's like a snowball rolling downhill, gathering more snow and momentum with each turn. Whether it's about your health, your career, your children, or how others perceive you, these worries can easily consume your thoughts, creating a storm of stress and anxiety. Let's delve into some of these scenarios. You might worry about your health, even in the face of good medical reports. You may fret about your career, questioning every decision, every move, and whether you're good enough, successful enough. Or perhaps your worries revolve around your children, their safety, their future, their happiness. And then there's the worry about what other people think of you, their opinions, their judgments, their expectations. These worries, as real and tangible as they may feel, are often just hypothetical scenarios playing out in our heads. They haven't happened. They might not ever happen. And yet we give them so much power, so much of our time and energy. We end up living in a state of constant what-ifs, robbing ourselves of the joy and peace of the present moment. Over-worrying is like a hamster running on a wheel, going round and round, but getting nowhere. It's exhausting, it's unproductive, and it's unnecessary. But recognizing that we're caught in this cycle of over-worrying is half the battle. It's the first step towards regaining control of our thoughts, our emotions, and our lives. So how do we recognize when we're over-worrying? It's when these worries start to interfere with our daily lives, our work, our relationships. It's when we spend more time worrying about potential problems than dealing with actual ones. It's when we're constantly on edge, unable to relax, unable to enjoy the here and now. So the first step to overcoming over-worrying is recognizing when you're doing it. Once you've identified this pattern, you've taken the first crucial step towards breaking free from the chains of over-worrying. Now let's explore what to do when you catch yourself in the act. Caught yourself over-worrying? Good. Now take a deep breath. This is your first step towards overcoming over-worrying. Deep breathing is more than just a stress reliever. It's a powerful tool that can calm your mind, bring you back to the present moment, and help you regain control over your emotions. Inhale slowly, hold your breath for a second or two, and then exhale completely. That's one cycle. Repeat this for about 10 breaths, and you'll find your mind becoming clearer and calmer. This is because deep breathing increases the supply of oxygen to your brain and stimulates the parasympathetic nervous system, promoting a state of calmness. So, every time you find yourself tangled in a web of worries, remember to breathe. Now, let's move on to journaling. This is not just about writing down your thoughts and feelings, it's about understanding them, challenging them, and changing them. Start by jotting down your worries. What's causing you stress? What are the worst-case scenarios playing in your mind? Once you've listed them, write counter-statements. These are rational responses that challenge your worries. For example, if you're worried about making a mistake at work, your counter-statement could be, "Everyone makes mistakes. It's how we learn and improve." Journaling your worries and counter-statements allows you to take a step back and look at your thoughts from a different perspective. It can help you identify patterns in your thinking, understand your triggers, and develop effective coping strategies. This practice can be especially helpful when you're feeling overwhelmed and unable to think clearly. Through this process, you can start to see your worries for what they really are, often unfounded fears that haven't happened and may never happen. By breathing deeply and journaling, you can start to see your worries for what they really are. But what if they persist? If worries still persist, it's time to challenge them head-on. When the invisible weight of worry starts to feel all too real, it's time for a reality check. Let's take the reins and begin to question these worries. First, let's ask ourselves, is this worry based on fact or assumption? Often, we find that our worries are more akin to speculations rather than facts. We worry about what could happen, rather than what is happening. It's like being afraid of a shadow when it's merely a harmless object. By distinguishing fact from fiction, we can begin to dismantle these worry-filled narratives we've constructed. Next, we need to question the likelihood of our worries coming true. It's one thing to worry about losing your job, but it's another to realistically evaluate the chances of that happening. Are you performing well? Have you received positive feedback? If the answer is yes, then perhaps your worry is more of an exaggeration than a likely outcome. Now let's take a trip down memory lane. Think back to the times when you worried excessively about something that never came to pass. Remember the relief you felt when you realized your worry was unnecessary? Let's use those past experiences as reminders that our worries often don't materialize. It's like fearing the monster under the bed, only to realize there was never a monster to begin with. Recalling these instances can help us gain perspective. They remind us that our worries are often just figments of our imagination, blown out of proportion by our minds. They're like shadows that seem larger and scarier than the objects casting them. Remember, it's okay to worry, it's a natural human response. But when worry becomes overwhelming, it's important to challenge its validity and reflect on past experiences. By validating worries and reminiscing about past false alarms, you can gain perspective, but sometimes we could use a little help. And that's okay too. There's no shame in seeking guidance when the shadows of worry become too large to tackle alone. When worries seem overwhelming, remember, you don't have to face them alone. In such moments, reaching out to a mental health coach can be a game changer. They provide an objective perspective, help you navigate your thoughts, and equip you with effective strategies to manage your worries. Let's recap what we've discussed today. We've learned to recognize when we're over-worrying and how to break this cycle. We've talked about using deep breathing exercises to calm the mind and the power of journaling to put our worries into perspective. We've emphasized on validating our fears and reminiscing about the times when our worries didn't materialize to build resilience. And finally, we've discussed the importance of seeking professional help when needed. Remember, worrying is a part of life, but it doesn't have to consume you. If you found this video helpful, please like, share, and subscribe to our channel for more insights on mastering calm. Until next time, stay worry-free.